All right, so let's be clear. We're not here to sell you a house. What we are going to do is something a little different. We're going to tear apart this property report to get at a much bigger question. What really defines value at the very top of the real estate market? And this particular property is going to be our guide.
And here it is. This is our case study, the Bronte West Estate. It was just finished this year, and the report we're digging into calls it a, get this, a rare confluence of distinction. Now that's some serious marketing speak, right? So let's figure out what they actually mean by that.
And that really brings us to the core question here. I mean, when you look at a place like this, what are you really buying? Is it just the square footage and fancy finishes, or is there something more to it? We're going to find out by breaking down the official report.
Okay, so according to this analysis, their whole argument for this home's extraordinary merit, their words, not mine, it all rests on three main pillars. You've got the tangible stuff, things you can actually touch and measure. Then there's the intangible stuff, the experiences it gives you. And finally, its role as a straight-up financial asset.
And you got to pay attention to that word they chose, confluence. That's not an accident. It's a really clever marketing strategy. Think about it. Two rivers join and become way more powerful, right? Well, that's the idea here. The report is arguing that these three pillars of value don't just add up. They actually multiply each other, creating something way bigger than the sum of its parts.
All right, let's dive into pillar one, the tangible asset. This is the easy part, right? It's the bricks and mortar, the actual land, the physical reality of what this home is.
And right off the bat, it starts with just sheer scale. We're talking over 6,100 square feet of living space. That's the very first number the report throws at you to establish this home's presence, its grandeur. It's a statement, pure and simple, size and substance.
But the space inside? That's only half the story. The report puts a huge emphasis on the land itself, a 75 by 150-foot lot. And they describe lots this big in the area as nearly extinct. See what they did there? They're immediately framing the land not just as a nice feature, but as this super scarce, totally irreplaceable asset. And it's not just about the footprint on the ground, but the space going up. The report makes a big deal about the 10-foot ceilings on the main floor. They argue that this isn't just a number on a page. It actually transforms how it feels to live there. It lets more light in, makes everything feel so much more open.
And this is a perfect example of how all that space translates into real, tangible luxury. Take a look at the chef's kitchen. It's kitted out with top-of-the-line Thermador stuff, and the report doesn't just call it a kitchen. Oh no, it's a space designed for culinary art. It's basically the physical proof of high performance and quality.
But it goes way beyond just the pretty rooms. The report gets into what it calls functional intelligence. I kind of like that phrase. We're talking about things like a whole separate suite for a nanny or maybe your in-laws, full smart home integration, even a covered porch with skylights that's actually designed for Canadian weather. The whole point they're making is that this home isn't just about how it looks, but how it works.
Okay, so that's the physical house, the object itself. Now let's switch gears to pillar two, the intangible asset. This is where it gets interesting. This isn't about what the home is, but what it allows. Think lifestyle, location, all the experiences it unlocks for you.
I love this because it shows you how they take something totally abstract and make it concrete. Location is such a vague word, right? But a 5-minute walk to the lake, an 8-minute walk to the village. Suddenly, the report turns this intangible idea of a great location into hard numbers, into data points you can actually feel.
Hey, remember that covered porch we talked about? Well, here it is again, but now we're looking at it through a totally different lens. Before, it was about quality construction. Now, it's all about lifestyle. This is the spot that connects the house to that massive backyard, and from there connects you to the whole community and the waterfront just minutes away.
So you see, the argument is, you're not just buying a house on some random street, you're buying into a community. The report actually spends a lot of time selling the whole vibe of Bronte Village. The cool little shops, the great restaurants. It's painting a picture of this lifestyle that's somehow both sophisticated and super chill.
All right, on to our final pillar, the financial asset. This is where the report really breaks down why this property isn't just a place to live, but a smart investment strategy, a way to preserve wealth.
And this quote, this is basically the anchor for their entire financial case. The argument is so simple, but it's really powerful. In a world full of complicated stocks and bonds, what's the most reliable thing you can own? Something they literally aren't making any more of. Prime land in a great community. It all boils down to scarcity, again.
And this really spells out the practical value of that scarcity.
The report explains how that extra width on the lot isn't just wasted space. No way. It translates directly into what they call a scarcity premium, which is just a fancy way of saying it puts a dollar value on rarity. What does it get you? More privacy, room for an amazing pool, and more options down the road. All of that directly pumps up its financial value.
The financial angle doesn't stop there. It's also about the fact that it's brand new. Think about it. The report hammers home that buying a 2024 house means you get to skip all the headaches and the huge, unpredictable costs of renovating an older place. Instead, you get modern efficiency. Everything's up to code. You've got warranties. All of that is real money you're saving.
And finally, the report pulls back and looks at the big picture, the market itself. It makes a really strong case that South Oakville is a uniquely stable place to invest. So why? Well, first, it's geographically boxed in by the lake, so supply is naturally limited. Second, it attracts a very stable, affluent type of resident. And third, the top-tier schools create a constant demand. So the whole investment is backed up by a market that's proven to be incredibly resilient.
So, after all that, where are we? We've looked at the three pillars, right? The tangible thing, the intangible lifestyle it creates, and the financial asset it represents. Now it's time to put it all together and see what the total value proposition really is.
And here it is. This is the absolute core of the argument. It's not just the house. It's not just the location. And it's not just the investment potential by itself. The report's big claim of extraordinary merit all comes back to that word, confluence. It's about the synergy. It's where all three of these pillars crash into each other and make each other stronger, creating what they're calling a once-in-a-generation opportunity.
So I want to leave you with one final thought. After breaking all of this down, the real question seems to be this. What is true luxury today? Is it about what a home has? You know, the fancy marble, the pro appliances, the sheer square footage? Or is it really about what a home allows you to do? The walk to the lake, that feeling of community, the financial peace of mind? What do you think?